Verbos de cambio radical, or stem changing verbs in Spanish, will be the topic for today. All right, or for the next 5 minutes. This is really easy. The hardest thing is to memorize or to know what verbs are stem changing. This is a really short list. I just wanted to give 2 of each type of stem change just to give you an idea. But you have lists on Quizlet and on Hall Connect. You can find lists of the stem changing verbs. If you need help, send me a message. Let's look at one of each type. Let's look at E to IE verbs, stem changing verbs. You've noticed something here that I hope resembles a boot. Stem changing verbs are also called boot verbs. I'll show you why. Let's conjugate one of these. Let's look at empezar. Okay. Now, empezar means to start or to begin. All right. When you conjugate it, notice that the E changes from E to IE. All right. And let's continue. Changing the E to an IE. Empiezas. Empiezo, empiezas. Next is empieza. Keeps the stem change. All right, I'm going to go up here. Notice now that it becomes empezamos, empezamos. I'm going to underline this so you'll in red so you'll see that there's no stem change. And then down at the bottom, we're not in España so we don't use vosotros, but the bottom it's empiezan with the stem change. All right, so can you see, do you see why this is called a boot verb? Can you see why? Because every verb inside the boot has the IE stem change. The one outside the boot doesn't. So if you always learn your verbs in these 2 columns, singular and plural, then you'll always have this one outside the boot. And you've been taught this way since Spanish 1, so since the beginning of Spanish 1, so you're good there. All right. One other thing I should note is that in both of these verbs, they have 2 E's. They both have 2 E's. How do you know which one changes? It's always the second E. Always the second letter E that changes to IE. Okay, so let's look at another one. Oh no, can't erase my boot. Alright, so there are several E to IE stem changes. You just need to check out that list for more. Alright, servir or pedir? Any ideas? Any preference? Okay, pedir. So, we're going to start up here at the top. There's a change. It's inside the boot. The E changed to I now. Okay? Gotta be careful there. Next, it's an IR verb, so your ending is going to be es. Pido, pides. Then pide. We're outside the boot now. So notice, pi, 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 pe. It's an IR verb, so the ending is going to be imos. And then down here, still in the boot, or in the boot again, we have the stem change. Piden. Pido, pides, pide, pedimos, piden. It's a total boot verb. Next. All right. We have O to UE stem changing verbs, or O to UE boot verbs. You'll note that these have O's in the stem. Let's look at poder. Pedir meant to ask for, to order. Poder is to be able to do something. Since it's O to UE, we'll start out with puedo. Notice how the O changed to UE. Yo puedo, tú puedes, él, ella, o usted puede, nosotros. Now it changes to po. So you have pue, po. Podemos, and then down here in the boot again, it's pueden. Sí se puede. Puedo, puedes, puede, podemos, pueden. Comes from the verb poder. Boot verb. Hey, one more. Okay. Maybe you thought I miscounted, or maybe you already know this, but earlier I said that there are 2 stem changing verbs I wrote two of the many stem changing verbs for each of the four types of stem changes. And then you look down here at the lonely U to UE stem changing verb, and I only wrote one. That's all I could think of, because there is only one U to UE stem changing verb in the whole Spanish language. Just one. The verb is jugar, to play. So when we conjugate it, it's juego, juegas, juega, jue. Juego, juegas, juega, jugamos. And at the end, ellos form juegan. Say it with me. Juego, juegas, juega, jugamos, juegan. That's a boot verb. Send me your questions. Adios.